This
Rocket Child.
is Rocket Child.
Rocket Child. Rocket Child. It's Rocket Child.
Rocket Child. Yeah.
Hello and welcome. My name is Rocket Child and I'm an artist. So for this video, I'm going to show you how I made a iPhone live wallpaper. So first of all, when you have an iPhone, there is an option where you could have a live wallpaper, which is like a cross between a photo and a video. And if you're on the lock screen, if you press your finger on the image, it will start moving. So I thought that I would like to try and make my own design. The other day I was on Pinterest and I found a really cool psychedelic design that was like a ripple effect, and I thought that I'd like to try something like that myself. A couple months ago I did a self-portrait, which I think is a good format for the iPhone size, and in this video I'm going to animate the ripple effect and then put it onto my iPhone so it can become a wallpaper. Come along and see how we go. What I've done is I've taken the artwork that I finished previously, I put it on a new layer, and I made it transparent. Well, not transparent exactly. I reduced the colors and made it black and white so that way it's more of a background image. What I want is that the ripple effect comes from the center, kind of like if you throw a stone into a body of water, how it ripples out. Next, I'm using a new layer and I'm making a spiral. So what this is imagining an animation in just one image. So I imagine that the motion of the ripple will come from the center and it would move outwards. And this is essentially my blueprint pattern. It's colored in green because green is a very bright color and it helps me to see better. Throughout the drawing process, I'll be using some bright colors such as green, red, and blue, and the purpose is so that I can at least see what they look like in comparison to the rest of the drawing. Sometimes it gets too confusing having the actual colors there because they look too similar. Whereas if you have really crazy bright colored layers, then you're able to see what you're doing at that particular moment of time. I'm not exactly sure which image is going to look best on the iPhone, so I've made a rectangular shape and hoping that once I put it as the iPhone wallpaper, I'm hoping that I can resize it to something that works better. So here I'm just labeling things for you to see better. Within the spiral, you can section things off into circles, so starting from the innermost and moving outwards. Within a ripple, once you throw in the stone, the circles will start in the very center, it'll come and move out, making various different circles, and then once the motion is finished, they will disappear from center outwards. This blueprint is going to help me. It's going to be a map, so I'll just lock it and lower the intensity of the brightness. Then I'm using the Photoshop timeline effect and I'm setting it to 12 frames per second. I'm using the anim color and the anim design custom menu bars. These help me do animation a lot faster. The animation toolbar can sometimes get very confusing. You want to make sure you're drawing on the right layer, but as well on the right time frame. I spent a lot of time trying to organize and make sure all the layers were in the right orders so that it came out looking well. Again, as I said, I went back and forwards between using different bright colors so that I knew which layer I was working on and could tell the difference between the others. once we get closer to the end, I'll change them back to being the color that I intended them to be. Let's fast forward and see this drawn in speed motion. Speed drawing! I wanted to include some other animation in here, so I decided to draw a blink, which I think was one of the easiest things I could do in the situation. Because the artwork was already completed, I couldn't really change the positioning of the pose without redoing the entire artwork, whereas a blink, I can draw eyelids on top of the existing eyes. The difficulty though was that the eyes were shaded, so I needed to make sure that the coloring of the blink blended in with the original artwork. I also decided to draw in a third eye opening as the ripple effect happened as well. For the last few years, I've included motivational captions on my lock screen, so that way every time I look at my phone, I can have some positive affirmations to look at. I'm including a text that just says, "You are capable of amazing things," so that it will show up once the ripple animation is activated. So I have finished the animation, or at least I thought I did. I finished the first iteration of the ripple effect, and when I press play it looks like this. It has a very cool effect, but it appears more like laser beams coming out of the third eye as opposed to a ripple. And I realized that this is because only the top overlay has movement, none of the bottom image has. so it makes it look as though the figure in the middle is not a reflection. I experimented, and what I did was I copied the main image and used the smear tool and used the ripple animation as a template on where to smear it. And this looks much better. It looks like an actual reflection because the image is getting distorted. So for the next part, I think I want to make the background blur as well. At first it was white, but when I tested it on my phone background, the clock doesn't show up because the iPhone clock is white text, so white on white means it's invisible. So I put this pinky purple color as the background. Things on top have the ability to affect things on the bottom, so I have to be able to think in layers. But what I would do is I'd copy the figure and the background at different stages. That includes the blinks, so that the eyelids are included in the main image. I'm going to make each of these separate elements, or separate elements as in the eyes closed, the eyes blinking, all together with the background and the figure into their own separate layers. And then I will smear them like I did with this one according to the pattern of the ripples, like this. And then we'll see the results on how it looks after. For the phone lock screen, the static image will be the first frame of your animation. When you activate the animation by touching your finger to the screen, then you'll be able to see from the second frame onwards. So what I'm doing is I'm having that the lock screen by itself has no text, but when you press it, the text will fade in, as well as the ripple effect. Once everything has been completed, you can export the video as a video file, MP4. Because I work on a Microsoft computer, I then emailed the video file to myself so I could then save the video onto my iPhone. To make your video into a live wallpaper, you need an app to do that. I downloaded a free one called Into Live, Then you can choose your video file. You have the option of applying different filters and changing different effects, but because I did everything manually in Photoshop, all I have to do is press the make button. Afterwards, it will show you an ad because I guess it's a free app, so you can just skip it and save it into your phone memory. After that, go into your photos. You can tell that it is a live photo because there will be a circle in the corner with the word live on it. When you press your finger to the screen, the animation should activate automatically. If you go down to the bottom of the toolbar, press the square with the arrow, the share button, then scroll down and press use as wallpaper. You'll then have the option of choosing the size you want for your photo. I made my image a little bit big, so I had the flexibility of choosing. When you press your finger to the screen, it will then activate the live video mode. Then press set to activate the wallpaper. Thanks everyone for your kindness and support. Please consider donating on my Buy Me a Coffee page, buymeacoffee.com/rocket1111child. The funds will go towards growing this channel and creating more art projects and videos. Anyway, thanks for watching.